Hi guys, this is Dr. Pangelinen, and in this lecture I'm going to review the group project and the final submission of the task card, as well as the instructions, point breakdown, and an example. For this assignment, your group will choose one of the activity for your assigned skill module. The information is provided on the syllabus and will be also provided in a course announcement. For example, groups 1 through 4 will cover the second skill module, walking and running. You will create an additional activity to build upon one of the activities that you select from your skill module. The activity should not be too different from the original activity. Rather, your new activity should practice the same or very similar skills in a slightly different way so the kids don't get bored practicing the skill. So the goal should be the same, but you can modify the equipment, instructions, or create group activities to practice the skill. I've provided a template in PowerPoint that can be uploaded onto Google Slides so that you guys can collaborate together with your group members to create the task card. Do not change the following information. I want all the task cards to look very, very similar. Don't change the font sizes, the font type, or the background. This is intentionally kept very simple to reduce the distractions for the task card. Keep all the words very simple and use as little text as possible. All the pictures should also be very simple. I used icons from flaticon.com, which can be downloaded for no cost. I will subtract points for any changes to the basic layout of the template. You do not need to include your names or anything else. This information is already provided when you submit your task card for review. You will only submit one task card per group. The instructions for each section and points are provided on the next 2 slides. An example of a completed task card is provided in the last 2 slides. We'll go over this material together now. So here's the basic layout. The title area is the skill area that you've been assigned. Additional activities stays the same. And the last part of the title will be the activity from your skill area that you plan to modify. This first area is the name of your new activity. You'll insert the goals of this activity. For this little part, you're going to get 5 points. The next section describes the materials that you'll use. You must list all the materials in alphabetical order. All the materials should be found around the house or should be bought for less than $5. You'll receive 5 points for this section. The next is a description of the setup. It's important to note that on the second slide, you'll actually draw an example of the setup to make it very straightforward for parents to use. The description of the setup will be for 5 points. The most points will be for the instructions for your new activity. You'll receive 15 points for the text description and 5 points for the corresponding pictures for each of the different instructions. Describe what the child will do. Use simple language. Add simple black and white pictures to the right to show what the child will do. Again, I used icons from flaticon.com, or you can create your own in PowerPoint. The second slide is an example of the setup. You'll receive 5 points for a simple picture or drawing of the setup. At the bottom of the slide, you can also include additional examples. This is not necessary, but can be helpful if you have more activities in the setup diagram than what you've talked about on the first slide of your task card. Here's an example of one of the activities that I created to build on the animal games activity in the foundational skills module. So the name of my new game is called Animal Circuit. The goal is to increase coordination and balance by moving the body in different ways. The materials for this activity are pictures of different animals and masking or floor tape. For the setup, the parent or the coach will place pictures of different animals in a line or circle with about 5 to 10 feet between each picture. You can change the picture once the children or the child has completed the first round. As far as the instructions are concerned, the child or children will move like each animal as they go through the circuit. The bear crawl and crab walk are described in the activity guide for the animal games activity. In addition, I've created 3 more animal movements. The first one is called gorilla slide. For this activity, the child will stand with his or her legs wide and knees bent, with her hands hanging low, swinging overhead, or at the hips. Child should step sideways towards the next animal picture. They can make gorilla sounds if they want and thump their chest. Here is their picture of the setup of the body position for the gorilla slide. The next activity is called donkey kick. The child or children will start on their hands and knees or hands and feet. He or she will kick one foot back like a donkey. He or she will crawl or walk on hands and knees towards the next picture and alternate kicking with each leg. If there's more than one child participating, make sure that there's plenty of space between the children. Here is a diagram of a picture of a child on hands and knees doing a donkey kick. The last activity I created is called elephant walk. For this activity, the child will start on hands and knees or on hands and feet. He or she will raise one arm up like an elephant's trunk. He or she will crawl or walk on hands and knees or hands and feet towards the next picture and alternate raising each arm. If there's more than one child participating, make sure that there's plenty of space between the children. Here's the picture of the elephant walk. This child is on hands and knees, raising one arm like an elephant trunk. Here's the example of the setup. So what I've shown here is that it's a circuit or a circle, and I've drawn pictures of different animals to represent the different activities. Here we have a monkey or a gorilla. Here we have our donkey. Here we have our elephant. And although I didn't describe it, you can also create other examples. Here I've added a frog. The coach or the parent can also add other examples of different movements of different animals. I've added a couple other examples here. So in addition to a frog, they can pretend to be a cat and stretch their back, a kangaroo, and hop with their 2 feet together with their arms tucked in like a kangaroo. They can crawl on their belly like a crocodile, or they can flap their wings like a bird. The parent can swap out each of the different pictures to correspond with these other examples. It's very important that each of your group members contributes to different aspects of the task card. In your group member evaluation, you guys will explain which part of the task card you helped to create. It's also important that each of the group members contribute to providing feedback on the areas that they didn't contribute to directly. So for example, if one of my group members worked on creating the goal, the other group members will make sure that this is all written correctly, that the language is simple, and that it's clear. If 2 group members helped with the instructions, it's important for the other group members to provide feedback about the description as well as the pictures. You will receive an overall group grade, and for groups in which there's a big discrepancy in the contribution of group members, the group grade will be modified for each individual depending on their contribution to the full and final task card. Please let me know if you guys have questions about this example. In the next video, I'll provide an example of how to do the peer evaluation. It'll also provide another example of a task card that was created for the Foundational Skills module.